My name is Arturo Giammugnani, and I'm the president of Arjen Homes. And obviously, then the last step before we got here was just focusing only on modern construction.
Which one do you like the best? What kind of, do you like modern? Do you like traditional? What's your style?
We are fans of modern. I mean,
Yeah.
I cannot say enough about modern construction. I was born in Argentina, in South America. We have modern construction since 50 years ago. Growing up, I saw modern construction. It was fascinated. There's different type of modern architecture. They have the contemporary modern, the cold modern, which is the Scandinavian look modern, which is, as we all know, Scandinavia means all white and there's no life. What we did here in Tampa is trying to add the warm touch. So
Okay.
we implemented, besides the designing the house to be modern, but we implemented wood and stone. We made it more warm and appealing to families.
Yeah, we do have a lot of warm touches in the houses. We do have a lot of the wood looks and fireplaces and stuff like that that make it really, really nice. So you got into modern houses, and now we're starting this podcast, and it's called Let's Talk Modern Homes.
Right.
What is this podcast is going to include? So we're not only going to be talking, we're going to talk about the market in Tampa, the real estate market, also in Florida as a whole, migration, that people coming and buying houses in Florida. What else are we going to be talking about in this podcast?
Well, you just said something that makes a lot of sense. It's not just about people moving into Florida. There is a wide selection of very sophisticated people that they want to make Florida their home.
Yeah.
Home. They're moving for many reasons. It can be economically, it can be politically, whatever the reason is. We're not going to talk about reasons, but there's people moving into Florida, and a lot of these people already are familiar in their own states with modern construction. Tampa, up to 5 years ago, 6 years ago, was not a hub for modern construction.
No, it was not.
It was not. I mean, you really. I'm going to tell you something. Also, there was I don't know if you remember. We did a Facebook survey back in 2018, 2019. So we put a modern 5,000 square feet home, and we call them A. And then we put a Mediterranean and not modern home, 5,000 square foot home, and we put a B. And the question to the consumer was, which one would you choose? Well, almost 80% choose A.
Yeah.
And out of the 80%, the response was, I have B. The reason is that I have B is because there was no A to buy.
Yeah.
So that tells me that even though the people like modern, the market for modern construction was not alive in Tampa.
Now, there's a big difference between luxury modern and modern. So there's the luxury modern, that's what we build, that we will focus on. And there's a big difference. There's a lot of windows that we put, a lot of storefront windows and pivot doors and stuff like that you don't see in a regular modern home. Now, we're going to also be touching about, and the reason I bring this up, because we're going to be talking in this podcast about luxury living and luxury living in Tampa and how this whole thing of lifestyle is tying in together. Like 5-6 years ago, like you said, there was no Water Street, there was no Armature, there was none of these nice spots that you can go for dinner or nothing like this. That is modern.
And
it was
that
all
is
traditional.
Also luxury living.
Exactly.
And the fact is, Tampa was redeveloped. Downtown was redeveloped.
Yeah.
They built a kind of a brand new city with Midtown.
Yeah.
Okay. And everything is towards modern. Okay. And people that actually are coming to Tampa and living in that area, they are people that actually are used about luxury. So the best combination is if you're looking for a modern home and luxury, then obviously now you got a product in Tampa that will fulfill your needs.
Yeah, and I think the younger people also are going towards modern. So all the buildings are for like apartments and condos and stuff like that. A lot of them are also very modern to bring more younger people to Tampa as well.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of athletes. We got a lot of athletes, and we got sports in Tampa. I mean, we got how many teams? We got the Bucks, we got the Lightnings, we got the Rays, and rowdies.
in the rallies.
Yeah.
Tampa, I moved into Tampa in 1990, and where Waters Avenue was one lane road, and there was no action in downtown. Downtown was very dry. It was very calm, if you will.
It was very office. It was
Yeah,
very commercial.
it was
Yeah.
like the normal the downtown from any city in the states.
Yeah.
Now, because of this influx of people, downtown is the place to be. Now we have condos, we got townhouses, we got restaurants and hotels coming in, and there's a lot of entertainment. That prompts people to say, okay, this is a place that I'm welcome, I feel comfortable. There's a lot of entertainment for people. But Tampa is not only well known about tourism. We do have beaches, we do have parks, but we do have also industries. If you remember back when COVID was alive,
Yeah.
Orlando was shut down because Orlando only was feeding
On
from
tourism.
the parks.
Yeah, on tourism. Yeah.
Miami was kind of shut down because Miami was feeding out of tourism, and there was nobody flying into Miami. There was no restaurants, no hotels. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
But Tampa was alive. We were building in the middle of COVID. We were building. Why? Because Tampa is not just tourism. It's not just entertainment. It's industries. It's finance, health,
technology,
distribution. Amazon has a lot of warehouses in there. So Tampa, according to Zillow, is the city that most people choose to live for 2022. The number one in the country. So, folks, we're going to expand about this because there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, this is our first podcast. We're just going to give you a little glimpse of what are we going to discuss: real estate, construction, architecture,
entrepreneurship,
living. What is going on in Tampa? What is coming up in Tampa? So everybody will have their eyes ready for what is coming up, because a lot of new things happen in this town almost every week. There's some news coming up, some new developments coming up, some new industries moving in with the headquarters. We're going to talk about that as well. Today was like the first touch that we have, the first communications with you, the audience, in trying to let you know that anything that is related to modern homes, modern architecture, luxury living in Tampa, we have, I would say, we're very humble about that, and I hope you agree with this. We have a lot of experience. We have been doing this for a long time. And when it comes to present a product to a potential buyer, we kind of feel this in the same page as the buyer. Why? Because we are very passionate about modern. And when a new buyer comes in and requests a modern home, and they see our passion towards it, they get passionate as well. So it's funny though, because it's kind of how we are making friends and not only just selling houses.
Yeah, we don't ever see it as selling houses. Everything that we build is unique, and it's a piece of art that doesn't get repeated, and people appreciate that.
People appreciate that. People appreciate also the customization that we do. Folks, just for your own knowledge, when we build a new model, a new project, we don't repeat the model twice. Not like many other of my colleagues that when they have plans for one home, they just make it, and they repeat it as many times as the people choose to buy that model, that elevation. We don't, even if it is requested by a new buyer. We, in respect for the buyer that bought that house and spent that kind of money, we're not repeating that. We are designing a new project, and every new project is a new design.
Yeah.
So that makes it more unique of it, and people understand that, and they want to have, when they buy one of these luxury modern homes, they want to have this sense like there's nothing like this nearby.
Correct, and there really isn't.
And there really is.
Yeah. I mean, you can see some of the houses that are getting in the market right now in Tampa. The modern houses are getting stuff like similar to Miami, to LA, but we never seen that 5 years ago, like you were saying earlier. It just
people were looking at these houses only on Instagram.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Instagram postings about luxury modern houses in LA. As a matter of fact, there was a show in Netflix called Selling Sunset, that that I used to watch, and I watched, and it was about all of the houses that were shown that the realtors were going to open houses or to
Yeah.
list it or whatever. They were all modern. It was LA, obviously, but they
Yeah.
were 70, 80, $100 million. So people looked at those houses and says, look, that's how they live in LA. But then obviously then we got Miami that actually have their percentage of modern as well, on the water, which makes it sometimes perhaps more attractive.
Yeah.
But what are the prices? The prices are in the 30s of $40 million as well.
Correct.
But Tampa didn't have any. So if you want to move to Florida and you would like more, and you really were left with just one choice, which is Miami. Well, right now they have two, and the difference is, if we looked at basically cost, the difference is that the land in Miami costs more,
Yeah.
much more than the land in Tampa. So the same house that you see in Miami at 30 million, you may see it in Tampa at 5.
Yeah.
Not because it's not doesn't have the same things that the other one has.
Yeah,
As a matter of
it's
fact,
the
maybe
same
we have more
features.
here than what we build over there. But obviously, the land cost, in the labor cost, and the material cost is much different here in Tampa than in Miami.
Now Miami got one thing over us, which they got your favorite player.
Yeah, we got Leo. They got Leo Messi, but
Yeah.
at least
But
it's
we're
Miami.
gonna
It's
we're gonna
close.
he's gonna move to Tampa.
I don't know. He wants to become an investor,
Yeah.
real estate investor.
No,
when he
I thought
retires.
I thought he wanted to come and live in one of the Arjen Holmes houses.
We tried. We're selling houses to baseball players. We're selling houses to CFOs, CEOs. Maybe he decided to
Yeah.
bring his wife and kids here to Tampa.
Yeah, and you guys can make an Argentinian barbecue, which that is one thing that you're really really good at. Making some asada.
See, the problem is I promise every buyer that the first thing that I will do for them is cook, and and then you got to deliver. You got to
Yeah.
deliver.
Yeah.
But it's been it's been a trip, an interesting trip in our lives in trying to. And the funny thing is, when we develop, when we think about a new project, we put a lot of effort in designing that project. And that's one of the things that we're going to discuss is the design, the process, right? But I'm going to give you a little hint. Every project that we do new, every project that is coming up, we are designing that like it's for us. It's like our home. So, let's put the elevator this way because if I come out from the garage, I would like to have the elevator close to me so I can. Everything is thought to the point that this house is going to be for my family. Obviously, it's not, but because we do that, when we present this house to potential buyers, they see that they thought about this, and they thought about this closet, or they thought about this peekaboo door, and obviously this chef kitchen. Oh, that's a good idea. It's not just the idea; it's the idea plus the intention that this house it might be for me. I want to have this in my house. We just do it.
Yeah, and it's a really good mindset that you put in everybody in the company culture. It's like, hey, if you don't want it in your house, don't do it. And I think that's something, and that's why I mentioned entrepreneurship a little bit earlier, because I think there's a lot of people that can learn a lot from you, just in entrepreneurship as a whole. And I personally have learned a ton from you in that aspect as well.
That's why I consider you the son that I never had.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
But it's not about this is nothing magical about entrepreneurship. It's sometimes the effort that you put in, along with the ideas that perhaps when you have the idea you don't even know they're going to work or not, right? You have an idea,
Yeah.
but the try and the effort of make sure that idea becomes reality. And sometimes you need to make changes on the way.
Process.
In the process, you say, well, this is not going to work. But when we talk about houses, we looked at every inch of the house, every wall. I remember you looking at plans and you even marking, I don't like this wall. I don't like the stern. I wanted to try to take this off because it will look more open. Folks, in the construction world, and you probably know this, nothing about my competition or my colleagues or anything like that, but a lot of builders, they just get a set of plans and their intention is to build a house, to sell it and move on. I don't think that, unless it's a home that is being purchased by or built on the lot, on the owner's lot, which the owner is the one who decides what wall goes there. But if a builder builds a spec home, they're trying to build something that is very cost effective and sell it quickly. They are not sitting down thinking, this house is for me, or let me figure out that this wall is exactly how it needed to be, or this door is here. How do we open? It's open right, open left. They just build a home. We build spec homes as well, and obviously also we build on your lot. But the spec homes is when the builder buys a lot and builds a home for sale. It doesn't matter. I know it's not for us, but we treat the point is we treat that as it was for us.
Yeah.
So all of the details is being done. Layth, it's he has a big red pen, and you should see that the after he's done with one of the prints in one of the plans, a lot of things are red. That means that he doesn't feel comfortable with this, that, and the other. Obviously, then we tell the architect, we tell our drafter, we need to change this. This doesn't look good. This doesn't really go with the flow or whatever. And that's how we ended up with a beautiful design that every inch is being taken care and is being considered that it needs. That's what it needs to be.
Yeah, so just want to remind you guys every Thursday at 2 p.m. Let's Talk Modern Homes. It's going to be on Spotify. It's going to be on Facebook Live. It's going to be on multiple channels, and we're going to be adding that to the descriptions where you can watch these podcasts. Now, another thing that we're going to be talking about in the podcast and during different episodes, we're going to talk about the building science, what goes behind the construction. And obviously right now we're in the office, we have this beautiful studio, but on the construction site, when we're pouring concrete, when we're flying the trusses, when we're building the walls, we're going to do videos in there that's going to be a part of this podcast. Are you excited about those? Are you excited?
I'm not going to be only excited, me being excited about this. I think that the audience is going to see firsthand. We're going to put videos of how do we pour a concrete roof, which is not very common in Tampa. Okay, we're going to be showing you 20-foot pivot doors, 20-foot high pivot doors. There's none in Tampa. We're going to be showing you things that we do inside the house while we're doing it, while we're building it. So you can see what's behind that wall. You have the sense of, how do these people build their homes? How sound they are? What is it that we put on behind the walls? That we make sure that, the house will be sustainable for a hurricane, for instance. You will see the size of windows that we install. We use every resource the best possible way. We're not putting cheap stuff just to get away with. Our windows are coming from overseas. They're floor to ceiling. They're commercial graded. They're impact graded. That makes the house more secure, more sounded. But so is the tiles, the kitchen cabinets that comes from obviously out of the country, handmade kitchen cabinetry. Everything that we do is custom, is special, and you will get the chance to see it with your own eyes. And we will be able to explain also to you, how is it, how we do it. For instance, one of the things that we'll be doing with homes is making smart homes. It's nice to say the word smart. The house is not smart, okay? But we said it's smart because
it's a lot of technology.
The technology that is included. Shades, automatic shades, automatic thermostats, cameras, speakers that are behind the wall. You don't see any speakers in the house. You don't see any speakers anywhere. The speakers are behind the wall.
I keep telling people about that when I do showing the houses and stuff like that. I would like in Halloween, it will be the best prank on your kids or anything like that. Just you don't see any speakers, but you can
scare people.
Yeah, scare people. Yeah.
So we do stuff as we see, and again, we go to trade shows. We go to the builders trade show, every year. Then we see the new products coming in, and if we like it, if I see something that is going to be a selling point to any of our homes, then we just decided we're going to implement this. We're going to buy the stuff and we're going to implement it in our homes. For instance, I tell you the perfect example is the 20-foot pivot doors.
You know what it is with the pivot door? This is like something that I am really passionate about as well. Is like having access to the manufacturer and talking to the manufacturer and the design and the build of that door, and he actually just sent me pictures yesterday of the doors and manufacturing in the factory, um, and obviously it's overseas as well. But having that dialogue and open conversation with the manufacturers and creating something that is not just off of the shelf, that's something that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Pivot doors are pivot doors. You can buy a pivot door anywhere. You can go to Home Depot and buy a pivot door. And I'm not saying Home Depot to make advertisement about Home Depot. I'm sorry, but you can buy pivot doors now. Now, 20-foot pivot doors, they're very difficult to locate.
Yeah. Not only difficult to locate, but you're also now working with the city and the municipality to get the engineering and all that. So there's a lot of work behind
One door.
behind doors,
You
right?
got
Behind
one
the
door,
doors.
the front door.
Yeah.
And
So
you know what? The funny part is when somebody park in
Yeah.
front of the house, and they see that for the first thing they see in the house is that 20-foot pivot door, and the reaction. This is what I'm waiting for to hear from the client. The first reaction is wow. That wow is 25% of the sale. Then they go inside and they see the kitchen and how the open concept that we have. It's another wow. So I consider three wows. Three wows is a sale. And wow meaning just saying wow. It's just they get impressed by the level of quality and by the level of customization that we do in houses.
yeah, we gotta. For me, a while is gonna be when we're installing that pivot door. I mean, we're gonna need about 10 to 14
Yeah.
people to really install
And
that
we're
door.
gonna
Right?
actually show you when
Yeah, we're gonna
one
definitely
of these
film
doors.
that. That's gonna
Exactly.
be
You're gonna see how the pivot door gets installed. It's not complicated, but it's 20 feet of a door, and
yeah,
it will take a lot of people to do it, and it will take a little bit of a imagination, let's
yeah.
say. But we get it done, and we will show you as well. So, um, wrapping this thing, again, in the next few podcasts, we will introduce you to several views of the construction that we do, several comments about what's going on in Tampa. Obviously, we're not going to talk only about Arjen homes. This is not about that, but it's about because we build modern homes. I like to put examples from my own company, but there's a lot of people, other people that are good builders also. They do modern homes, but we're going to talk about the modern home as a whole. Okay, what makes what is the concept? What is the definition of a modern home? We're going to leave it for the next podcast. Okay, but what is the definition of a modern home? How can you call this home a modern home? Why are we calling them a modern home? It's not just because we decided
Yeah.
that hey, that house is called modern. No, some houses they have some elements that they make it modern or not modern. And we're going to talk about also the misconception that people will advertise modern because some sort of a design that looks modern, but technically the house is not modern. So they use the word modern. Why? Because modern is now the way to go, basically. So if you are in the market for a house and you talk about buying a modern home, be careful what they offer you as a modern. And we're going to talk about the differences between modern and looking like modern, but not modern. And that's also another topic that we are going to discuss. Also, what are the features of a modern home? The typical features of a modern home. What goes in the modern home that makes it more modern? Um, for family oriented, what else the modern home carries as far as
Yeah.
items like outdoor kitchen or swimming pools or cabanas or elevators or stuff like that. We're going to talk about also the not the accessories but the items that we can actually add to the home. Uh, and the concept, I'm going to go back for a little bit. Why we thought about building these homes that has offices and gyms and all that stuff. During COVID, and everybody remember what happened. There was a fever of well, we need to work from home. We're not going to be able to go to the office. Everybody stays home, and that was the time that we decided, okay, listen, if everybody's going to stay home and work, might as well we just have to start building homes that will fit their working hours, their family hours, their entertainment hours. So if you work, you need offices, and if your kids has to stay home and do homework, they needs to have a room. And if you do exercise because you cannot go to the gym, you need to have a gym, and you need to have a pool, and you need to have room for entertaining people if your family comes over.
I think that's a way of life at this point. Like a lot of people like home gyms, like especially after COVID, but it just makes more sense. You wake up, you go downstairs, you go to the gym, you run a little bit, you carry some weight, you exercise, and then you start your day. I think it's very, very nice setup in that
It's like
aspect.
living in the resort.
Yeah, basically.
And talking about the resorts, I heard that in many times. People traveling, business people traveling to Europe, overseas in business, they go to hotels that they cater. They have their beautiful bathrooms with bathtubs, very very modern and very luxury. And the first thing that comes to their mind is, I wish I can have this at home. Well, now we build in those same kind of the same bathroom with the same bathtubs and stuff like that you can have in your own house. So people like, people see, people want.
Yeah. Now you visited Argentina a couple years ago. Well, it's actually more like 5 years ago at
It
this
was like
point.
2019. Yeah.
2019. Yeah, and you're a big fan of I think that rejuvenated your passion for modern houses. When you got there, you went to a friend of yours' house in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is a little story
Yeah.
about that trip. The day before I came back, I spent a week in Buenos Aires with friends. And the night before I was ready to come back to America, a friend of mine says, "Listen, we're gonna do a cookout in my house. Come over, So we eat with the family and stuff like that." You have to remember that people in Europe and South America, their dinner time is not at 6. Their dinner time is at 10:30 at night. So I said, "All right, let's go. Let's eat. Let's have some wine." By 1 o'clock, 1:30, I was ready to go to the hotel. Another friend of mine says, "You're not gonna go nowhere until you see my house." I said, "What's up with your house?" I said, "I want to show you my house because I think that you're gonna like it." Well, they convinced me. I didn't want to go, but they convinced me. So we go into this private gated community neighborhood out of Buenos Aires, and to my surprise, I get out of the car and I see his house, completely modern, 2-story. I could see the swimming pool from the street. He opened up all these windows. I go inside and I'm thinking, "Oh my God, we don't have this in Tampa. We don't have this in Tampa." And at that time, there was no houses in Tampa that would look that way. So what do? I come back. I tell Layth, "Listen, we need to do something different. This is what I saw. Let's see if we can change gears and try to bring more luxury, more modern, more actually, I would say extremely modern." There's another word for extreme modern. Is
Where are you going with this?
no, they have modern, and then they have the
Contemporary,
no, the extreme modern. I mean, actually,
ultra modern.
ultra
Yeah,
modern.
that's what you're looking for. Yeah,
Ultra
ultra
modern.
modern.
And that's what I saw, and I saw it in South America. So South America has ultra modern, has modern, and we don't. So that's why we came back and we changed gears in a way that is not coming back.
Yeah, and I think we both have the passion for it.
Yes.
Everybody in the company have passion for modern houses and modern architecture. Um, it's definitely fun, and even the subs like it because it's different. It's something that they're doing different. It sparks their passion into, if it's a framer, if it's a plumber, if it's an electrician, they're excited about using different material, different fixtures, and they're always in support of it.
Yeah, and also think about it. Framer, the uh, the electrician, the plumber, the AC guy. They're used about working in Tampa for many builders doing traditional homes. And really, after you do one, two, three, 10, they're all the same, basically. The same type of work, the same type of layout, the same type of attention to detail. Now they go into a large modern home that we have some luxury items in fixtures, either electrical or plumbing, and they're seeing that and they say, "Well, you know what? I can say that I really was a participant. I really helped build this home." And you know what? They take pictures. They take
Oh, of
pictures to
course,
show
yeah.
their family, and then they take pictures to show other builders that this is
Yeah.
what I do, and enhance
Yeah.
enhance their profession because now they can say they do something else but just a regular house.
Yeah.
They have experience doing modern homes.
Well, that reminds me of you being famous on Netflix on selling Tampa. And we have a lot of people and subs actually. They were like, they want to join the team and they want to be a part of this big pictures that you paint as far as like um, being in this family and in this business venture that is going to be growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, we were lucky. We were more than lucky that last year um, Netflix came to town and created a show called Selling Tampa. Perhaps most of you have seen that. A lot of drama, obviously. We participated in the show. We show what we have. We have a couple of open houses. One of our houses that we have finished at that time.
Yeah.
And it's funny though because after the show aired, not only in the States but in 200 countries around the world, we got calls from people as far as Nigeria trying to buy our plants because they seen our website because of the show. They click on our website and when they see our models, I got called asking, how much is for this plant because I'm building. And I said, well, what city are you? He said, no, I'm not in any city in the States. I'm in Nigeria, in Africa. And I'm thinking, whoa, it's a good exposure that we had. Thank you to Netflix and to Sharel Rosado that invited us to that show as well. But again, we were putting Tampa in the map. And again, we were showing modern homes to a vast, wide variety of people in the world. So now everybody knows that in Tampa, there is a place for modern architecture.
Yeah. In the residential side, for sure, we definitely stepped it up. Yeah.
We were lucky, thank God. Again, we participated only to show what we have, and we didn't participate of the drama as well.
Yeah.
But very happy for that.
Yeah.
Very appreciative. And I think that a little bit of contributions here and there is making, is actually telling the audience, is telling the rest of the country that what Tampa is. I mean, that everything doesn't happen in one day, but a little bit here, a little bit there, contribution as far as having a speech about Tampa, the growing of Tampa, or participant in conferences that talks about Tampa and the future of construction, or even with the Tampa Bay Builder Association that we participate in their shows and the trade shows, and we have a table to show people what do we do. Everything helps to make people realize that hey, if you're looking for a modern home and if you're looking to basically have a good deal on a modern home, there's a place now in Florida that is accessible,
offering
the product and the living and the luxury living, the quality of life that we have.
Yeah, I think Tampa as a whole and the Tampa Bay area, including St. Pete, Clearwater, and it's really having a lot of offering, right? So we got boating, we got fishing, we got hiking, we got planes, we got everything in Tampa right now. Whatever you want to do, there's something for you. If you have kids, you can go to Busch Gardens. If you're somebody my age and you enjoy having dinners Friday nights outside and the nightlife, there's everything in St. Pete. It's beautiful, If you just want to relax on the beach, it's available, So there's different, and you can do it in a luxury lifestyle as well.
So one of the things that we also then tell the audience is we put a lot of emphasis to develop homes with rooftop terraces. Then you said about entertainment, and why rooftop terraces? Before modern homes were a thing here in Tampa, there was no one that have a rooftop terrace except for the hotels. No single family residential house would have a rooftop terrace for entertainment. Maybe they have a rooftop terrace as just a rooftop terrace, but we develop third stories and we develop entertainment with rooftop terraces, especially when you're talking about city lots.
Yeah.
Like in South Tampa, city lots are very, very, tight. There's not too much space to entertain people. That's why we go to the third story and we put an elevator so everybody can go. which
Now, the elevator is not only, I was talking to potential client the other day, and she was like, I love that you guys have an elevator. I don't need it for myself, but I need it for my dog. So that was pretty interesting. Yeah.
elevators 20 years ago was
Yeah.
a luxury item.
Yeah.
It was something that people would never even think about putting an elevator because of the cost. Nowadays, an elevator is a necessity.
Yeah.
I mean, why are we putting? That's another story. Why are we putting elevators? Because there's a story behind it too. We when we were building homes before we started going into this modern architecture, um, we have some models that we built where the the owner suite was in the second story, and we have people in my age coming to see the house, and they love the house, they love the distribution, but they said, well, yeah, I can buy this house. I like it. I like the neighborhood, but in a few years I'm gonna have to sell it. I said, why? I said, well, I'm getting old, and it's gonna be very difficult for me to climb the stairs. So I said to Layth, listen, we cannot afford this to happen. So we cannot afford that can be an obstacle for someone that likes the house, that feels in love with the design, likes the neighborhood, likes the price, everything, but now he's thinking he's going to sell it because in 3, 4, 5 or 10 years he might have problems with his knees or any health issues that
Yeah.
they have to sell it to go into a one story.
Yeah,
So
and
what
that's
do we
what
do?
we're trying to do, the dream house. And a lot of the clients, this is their dream house, so they don't want to get rid of it just because of an elevator. So when we decided to put elevators, that's just another thing for the clients. Like, okay, I'm gonna stay forever in my
There's no reason to
dream
leave.
house. Yeah,
Now,
it's
even if
like,
you're 90 or
yeah,
95 and you got health issues, you can still then go
yeah,
to the second story owner suite
yeah,
because you got an elevator,
yeah,
or bringing the groceries from the street,
yeah,
or anything. If you go to the third story, you got 3 stories to climb for entertainment. You need an elevator.
yeah.
Okay, and your guests need an elevator. So that's going back to the third story to the entertainment. We decided, okay, so if we got a tight lot, though, what do? We need to bring that life, the party life, somewhere. So we brought it the third story. We put a
Yeah.
jacuzzi, we put a bar, we put a cigar room, a movie theater, whatever. We make it accessible for entertainment.
Now let's talk about what we're gonna talk about on Thursday next week. So we're gonna be talking about real estate.
When are we talking about real estate?
Okay, so we're gonna talk about real estate in Tampa and real estate in general.
Real estate in general.
Yeah.
When you talk about real estate, okay. I mean, if I'm sitting in folks, nothing wrong. I'm very humble about this. But if I'm sitting in South Dakota right now, if I talk real estate, I need to talk about real estate about Florida, New York, or LA. There's not too much real estate in South Dakota that we can talk about. But
Yeah.
we're sitting in Florida right now, so yeah, we're going to talk
It's a
about real
hot
estate.
market. Yeah.
But this is the center of
Yeah.
people moving in nowadays.
Correct.
This is the attraction what people have with Florida. We're going to talk about Florida. Also, we're going to talk about the view from an out-of-state buyer or out-of-state person that is moving into Florida. What do they think? How they think? What are they looking for?
Yeah.
And all of these things that it makes it a really entertainment conversation.
So Thursday next week at 2 p.m., we're gonna give you all the juice behind the real estate in Florida. And Art is very, very knowledgeable about this and been in it for years. Another thing that I wanna wrap this with this. I want to remind you guys that this can be found on Spotify, on Facebook Live, and other means that we're going to post on the description. Again, my name is Layth. I'm the Investment and Construction Director for Arjen Homes, and I have the honor in here to be the co-host of this podcast with Art, and Art is the president of Arjen Homes, and yeah, I think this has been a great first podcast, first episode.
For being the first one, we didn't do that bad, I think. Well,
Yeah.
they will be the judge, obviously.
They would be
If
the
they
judge.
come back next Thursday, it's because they like what we said. If they don't coming back, it's because we screwed up. But
Yeah.
hey, this is a free world, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us. Yes, we do have a lot of a background in this industry in many areas. One of the things that we can also touch in the near future are mortgage rates. how the mortgage industry is operating right now after the crash, what's happening with banks. There's a lot of talk about banks folding, that stuff, and then now I heard that a couple of more banks are also in the brink of having a big problem. Interest rate went through the roof this week. Now it's at 7%. So there's a lot of things. We talk about the bond market, and also everything that has to do with purchasing a home or even refinancing a home, which is very difficult now because the rates are high. But and also the what is available right now, that most of the banks do have. If you are thinking about building your own home, if you are in the market because you happen to have a lot, and or your wife and your family decided that you want to have your dream home built in your lot, that is possible. And it's also a big possibility that you can find a lender that will lend you a construction to perm loan to actually have a builder building the house of your dreams in your lot. We're going to talk about that as well because it's
Yeah, that's gonna
important.
be a whole episode. We need a
That's going,
whole
building on
episode.
your land is
Yeah,
going to be,
a whole
one
episode that
topic.
we need.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but people would like
yeah,
to know, what is it that I need? What do I need to do? How do
of
I need to
course.
contact? You're going to find everything about building your lot as well, and obviously, all of the necessary steps to either buy your home or perhaps sell your home and buy a new modern home.
Thank you for tuning in. We would like to see you Thursday at 2 p.m. on the same channel.
You're not going to see them; they're going to see you.
They're gonna see us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. I appreciate your listening to us and seeing us, and I hope I can meet you